All right. I think I've had a chance to meet a lot of you in the room. If not, Jeff Drobick. I'm focused in the U.S. business now, but I've still got responsibility for Tapjoy product engineering, so I absolutely care a ton about your feedback on the strategy, sort of where we're going, and what your needs are. And the talk today, I wanted to take a moment to kind of introduce the product, introduce the business, but really leave you with what is the real opportunity here. So you might have heard this before, and maybe it's in your game, or maybe it's not, maybe it's in your app, maybe not, but there is a real opportunity to drive revenue. And I want to talk about the future of this notion of a transaction engine and how we're going to try to make that real. So we've been in business for 15 years. That's the Tapjoy side of the house. We're super excited to be now part of the ironSource platform, ironSource family. You can now see your earnings right up in level play. Thank you to Nimrod here, who's up in front. So we're excited about that. And our reach is 1.6 billion MAU. So we're in a ton of apps, a ton of users see it. And when you start to look at these ratios, almost 150 million users convert on some kind of transaction, so a performance transaction through the Offerwall globally. And really, when you look at this opportunity, that's about a tenth, right, of the total reach. So right there, you can start to think about opportunities to grow revenue and earnings in a really meaningful way, and I'm going to tell you how. So who do we work with? It's really the who's who across the whole gaming ecosystem. Tons of non-gaming apps are coming in as well, so Beyond Games is a really big push. And then tons of advertising, performance, whether it's direct-to-consumer, brand, performance gaming, et cetera. So we kind of work with everybody, and it's pretty awesome. So let's talk about challenges. So the first thing here is, who are we solving for? And ultimately, it's a three-party marketplace here, right? So for developers, we're trying to help you all grow your earnings, grow your monetization. Advertisers, we're helping you do conversion to sale. We're ultimately trying to help you acquire new users that are healthy and accretive to your business. And then consumers, it's offer really relevant rewards and opportunities for you to convert and earn. So that's kind of how we think about the business here. And when you get to what are we all facing, the first piece here that we talked about yesterday is really the recession, the economy, what's actually happening with IAP. So we heard yesterday, 2 years in a row now, IAP trends, single-digit growth, things are slowing down. It's also getting harder and harder, really, to get share of mind, right? So get installs. Installs are kind of coming down. It's getting harder. The market is getting saturated, so how do you stand out? But on a positive side, I'd say the rewarded model is extremely well proven, right? Users want to get rewards. They want to consider new offers and demand on that. So that's a very positive trend that we've got to work with here. And that's really where our product comes in. So we take those three constituents and bring them all together in a really magical experience that creates a lot of money. And it's a great experience. And these are showcasing some of the apps we're in. We're in a ton of different ones, iOS, Android, and it's across games and non-games. So I want to talk about, well, why isn't everybody running the Offerwall right now? Why isn't it in every single app? I'd want to see that, in fact, and that is part of our mission, is to really have a huge impact on the market here. The first reservation I hear is, well, wait a minute, it's going to take users out of my app. It's going to take people away. And the data actually shows that's not really true. When you look at it over the long here, and this is July data, trailing 13 weeks, the data shows that users that convert within the Offerwall and they engage, they actually have higher session frequencies. So they're 1.6 times more frequent in your apps. And these are top 100 apps that have Offerwalls. So there's a fairly big data set in there. And the second misconception here I want to say is retention, right? So would putting an Offerwall impact spenders and impact people to leave your app, right? And when you look at it, the reality is whether you're looking at D7, D30, or even longer, your retention rates are going to be higher. They're 2 to 6 times higher, right? So why not put it in? It's accretive revenue, it's good for the users, right? And you're talking about 2 to 6 times higher retention rate. So let's talk about innovations that are coming to help you deliver the same results that Sen's doing there. So I'm going to only tease a few here. We can spend more time offline if you're interested. So the first thing is top of funnel, right? So how do you get more of your DAOs to actually visit? So we look at DAO ratios. Network-wide, just under 5%. Maybe you're lucky and you're slightly higher, you're 8%, 10%. There's actually an app out there that's over 20%, right? But if we can give you ways top of funnel to get more consideration in, maybe it's a good thing. So we're offering, instead of just a complete offer simple button, now maybe there's a way to bring some of that great demand, whether it's gaming or even brand demand, bring it up forward as a way to get higher conversions. So we're testing this. It's in an alpha right now. Maybe we can drive better monetization rates here through new demand differentiations, right? Maybe there's a way to select the offer and have a highlight around it, maybe a prestitial, right? Tapjoy's done this a long time ago, but maybe that would work really well as a way to get more scale on the demand side, great on monetization. Sen teased this a little bit, but we've heard from a lot of publishers, hey, how about web? Like, how about just go cross-platform and go web? So we have this product out. Same demand, we're expanding that in, so we have that offering for you guys to scale that in as well. So we're trying to do a bunch of things here to try to be comprehensive as a platform and scale it. And if you took one thing away from Maytal's talk yesterday, it's test everything. You guys remember that, right? Test everything. And so if we don't give you a way to do that in the platform, then it's a problem. So that's what we've had. We've had split testing for quite some time, so there's a whole bunch of different levers you can change that will change the experience and change the economics and a way to do the testing. So that's all pretty exciting. But the question is, what's Offerwall 2 look like? What's the future, and where are we trying to take this? And I think as a freemium app economy and as an industry, on the left here, there have been a lot of innovations that have been good for all three of those constituents I talked about, good for consumers, good for monetization, good for advertisers. And those are things around better marketing, automation, and better data. Rewarded video came in, believe it or not, in around 2013. Playables got really prominent in 2017 and continue to expand. So as you go through this journey, getting all the way up to the last big one, I'd say, was multi-reward CPE. That was a really significant driver for engaged users in monetization. We're trying to push the bounds farther. And the thing that I thought was really cool yesterday was some of the roundtable sessions, right? Thinking about enablers for Web3, right? And so you heard about Astra. So, currencies, content ownership. It's fantastic that ironSource has a platform offering for that if you want to get into that space. So that's amazing. And boy, Eric's talk this morning, you can see the complexity of dealing with identity and tracking and attribution and all that stuff, and then the curbs there around regulatory challenges. So I mean, that's all things that we're dealing with on the right-hand side of this graph here. But the things I'm excited about are above it, the enablers. So we started to talk about this concept of maybe play to own, play to earn, and play to own. What might that look like? Or I'm excited about the creator economy. So instead of you creating all the content yourself and pushing it, could your users co-create that? And is there a way to help them monetize that better? So I think the top half of this for me are exciting futures that will be enabled in the next 6 to 12 to 18 months by this tech. So we're focusing on that. And the last part I want to sort of end with is, where are we trying to take the platform, right? So Tapjoy, 15 years, mobile value exchange. It's this three-party shared value creation around it. In the future state here, it's the same people, right? So we're talking about global consumers, world's leading pubs and apps, and the world's leading, let's call them merchants now, not just advertisers, right? They don't just want clicks and impressions. They actually want conversion to sale. So same three parties here, but could we extend that? And the areas where we're working on products and ideation is extending on membership and loyalty, so more durable identity, understanding your highest value. You might even think Offerwall whales. How do you actually treat them better? So there's some things we're working on there. The second point of this would be the exchange. So as Web3 becomes more prominent, and everybody has a wallet, and everybody has the ability to put a currency in it, maybe it's not native, maybe it's actually fungible. What's our role in that? How do we actually facilitate that as we're creating this economic value? And then the third area that we're excited about is payments. And so not to say that we're going to be doing payments or a payment provider, not trying to be PayPal in this case. It's a question of when somebody's actually going to pay for something, could we help them with that? Could we actually create that economic value and store it? And I think the example I give you is, so in Tel Aviv here, how hard is it to get a cab? You're waiting for your Get taxi. Next to impossible, right? I don't know how to get one, but once you finally do get one and you're waiting, you've got a lot of downtime. That might be a great moment to go to an Offerwall, even in their app, earn, hold that value, and maybe pay for part of that ride. So why not pay for part of your Get ride or your Uber ride or whatever? Same thing with food delivery, right? So you've done in the US, DoorDash is very prominent, Postmates. As you're waiting for your food, maybe there's a way to engage with new relevant advertiser offers because you've got some downtime in that, and in fact, store that value and facilitate part of that payment. And so we're excited about those things and really going beyond games. So that's kind of the 2.0 idea, is thinking about bringing this all together, working with all of you guys collaboratively, and then going really beyond games in a huge way. So with that, I want to thank you for your time, and I think we're off to lunch.